Australia. Thank you very much for joining me today. Please jump on, say hello, let us know where you're from. It's always great having people on here. And I always like to have a chat while I'm crafting. So please jump on and let us know where you're from. Today we'll be working on, again, some more easel cards. Just some of the things that have been happening this week. You would have noticed we've got new online exclusives available now. Some of them you have seen me use them over the last couple of weeks. So they're ready for you to purchase. And, of course, if you want to purchase any of these products that I'm using today or any of the online products, you can go to Michele.jutrisa.stampingup.net or head over to butterfliesandbows.com and you'll see a link there to my online store. You'll also see links there to tutorials that I have done over the last 12 months that you can download. So they're free downloads, so some of the tutorials. And the card that I'm doing today, I will, by early next week, have that up as well as a downloadable tutorial. So I hope you have been enjoying what I have been creating over the last couple of weeks, and we've been looking at easel cards. And, of course, today I've got another easel card for you. So I'm going to flip this camera down. So you can see my desk view, and I'm going to very quickly run through some of the products we'll be using and start creating. So as I said, please jump on, say hi. Okay, so I'm still creating with products from the Christmas Tags and More 6x6 Mix and Match Specialty Designer Series paper. And one of the papers we're going to be using today is this one here. So I'll be cutting up and using 2 of these sections in my card. I'll also be using garden green cardstock, because that's one of the colours that goes with this suite. And I'll also be adding into this the Whispers of Texture specialty paper. This is a 12x12 paper. And it is textured. So this one here has got like a very fine corrugation on it, and the other sheet in here has got like it's almost like a linen type look and feel to it. So a lovely texture here that I'm going to incorporate into my card. So with the Memories and Mix and Match pack, of course, it also comes with 2 sheets of die cuts, which I've now actually separated because I was starting to fall out, and put them into a cellophane bag. And I'm also going to be using a sentiment from the Greetings for You Mix and Match ephemera pack as well. Now, this is all the Christmas sentiments, which are all done in beautiful gold. I'll be also cutting some letters out using the Party Alphabet dies. Now, this isn't quite an expense to purchase this. You can purchase it as a bundle with the, let me just grab it here, with the banners. So that's the Party Banners dies, or you can purchase them independently. But these die cut large letters, and these are just some that I was playing with the other day. Let me just pull them out so you can sort of see the sizing of them. So they're quite a large format, great for scrapbook pages. And I'm going to be using some of these letters on a card front today for my card. Now, of course, it will have a Christmas theme. So let me show you what we're going to do. So they're the products we're using. Now, let me just show you some of the cards we've already made. Now, as I said, there are tutorials for these, so you can download the tutorials and use them. So the first card I had done was just a standard easel card, and that just sits up like that, again, using these products. Then I added, for this card, I've added the specialty velvet cardstock, and again, using the designer series paper we've got here, we created this window card. So today we're going to create another type of easel card. There's so many out there to choose from when looking for easel cards, and I'm finding a lot of these on Pinterest and having a play with them and coming up something to share with you. Hello, Deborah. Thank you for joining me. No, you're not late. I was probably a minute early, so don't worry. You've been out shopping, Christmas shopping, I hope. It's getting there now. I have lost one of my letters. Where did it go? I hope it's in amongst my bits and pieces here, otherwise we're going to have a problem. I've lost the Y. Okay, let's have a look. So we've got these pieces here which can be cut apart, and I've already cut apart the ones I want to use. This is going to be a little bit of a, it's probably stuck on the back of something. I'm going to go through everything here and just have a look, because I have been playing in here all day, all morning, but I've had them sitting here. Okay, let's have a look. These are all the bits and pieces. So I've got a piece of garden green for our card back. I've got, I had prepped it ready. Look, I tell you what, sometimes I think my head is not screwed on properly. So what we're going to do first off is let's cut out our die cuts, and then I'm going to go through everything with you. So I've got pieces, I've taken 2 pieces from here that I want to use, and I'm going to cut out my letters, and we're going to cut out the word joy. As you can see, I've already got my J there, and then I'm going to cut out the Y in the green and the O in the little plaid there, or the check. I'm also grabbed some of the die cut pieces from the die cuts that come with this paper, and I've also grabbed one of the sentiments from our house to yours from the pack, what would you call it, the greetings for you mix and match pack as well. So let me grab my little cut and emboss here, and let's start off with die cutting this. Now I've just realized I also need to die cut these letters in white as well. So let me just grab, got a bit of white here, and that's because I'm going to actually back each one of these just to give them a little bit more stability in some white. Now I'm just going to line that up because it's going onto a plaid. I want a little bit of that red in there, and I want some of that green in there as well. So I'm just working out where I want that to sit on my paper. And we're going to cut out a J. Of course, we're making the word joy to go onto our card front. So there's my J. So we're finished with that piece of designer series paper. Let's just pop this one out. Oops, something went crash. So I hope you've had a good week. Just your groceries. Oh, well. Hello, Leslie. How are you? Thank you for joining. So there's our J. And I need to cut one in white. So we might as well do that at the same time. And I'm going to turn that around, so just going the opposite direction. Actually, we might just do the whole 3 of these in the white all together, because they're going to be all one colour and they will all fit. So we're just going to run that through. I probably could have spaced those a little bit closer, but that's fine. I love Fridays, not just for the fact that I'm in my craft room crafting, but I get to chat with everybody here online as well. And it's my day of relaxing after a stressful week of sewing. So it is so nice. And I can sit in here and I can look outside and Hopefully we're going to have some warmer weather. I'm still got a jacket on. It's still quite cool here. I've also, because the weather's been so changeable, we've got a bit of a cold, so that's not been good. So, okay, so there's all our white letters. There's our J. Let's grab this piece here. I can pop those in next to each other, and I want to do the Y in the green, and that's why it's because I wanted the J and the Y, the first letter and the last letter, to be in the same colour tones. I didn't want them all up the front. And I'm going to put my O in there. It's going to be the one in the middle difference. Now, of course, if you line all these up, you could use these little squares again for something else and use the negative space as well. So you don't really need to waste much with this. Let me just straighten up my trimmer. And I can pop that cut and emboss machine down there underneath. So let's pop out these letters. So everyone started their Christmas shopping yet? I haven't, but I've only got really a few people to buy for this year, because last year we decided that we were going to do like a secret, well, not so much a secret Santa, but we put names in a hat, and we're only buying for the people that we've pulled out of the hat. So technically I've only got one person to buy for, but then of course I've got to buy something for my parents and my niece and my sisters. I mean, I love Christmas, but my kids were complaining a bit too much, having to buy presents for everybody. So I'm buying for my son's girlfriend, which is lovely because I always buy for boys. It's nice to be able to buy for girls. Okay, so we've got all our letters there, and I'm going to glue all of those together. Don't mind me as I'm just chatting away. So I'm just popping a little bit of glue on there. I could have put some adhesive sheets underneath these, but sometimes I just like to be able to just to make sure that it's all sitting nice and straight. There's my J. This is just going to give a little bit of strength, a bit of added strength to each of these letters. J, O, and then the last one, our Y. So there's all our three letters there. Okay, so there's our letters. So let me just run through very quickly again what I've got here. So I've got a piece of garden green cardstock for our base, and that's just a single sheet, okay? It's not folded in half or anything like that. I have then got, so this one here measures 10.5 by 14.9. I will pop the measurements into the tutorial. I've then got a piece of cardstock here that I've cut at 7.5. Now, what I did was I took a piece and cut it at 7.5 by about, probably by about 13 centimetres or something like that, and scored it in the middle. Your grandchildren prefer money. Yeah, I sort of thought about giving money to my family, but then I like buying the presents. Now, what I've done with this is just a little tip from me, because what happens is technically I need a piece which is going to be 7.5 centimetres wide by 20 centimetres because I'm scoring that at 10. But what happens is if you score that at 10, because you're folding that and going around that V there, you lose about 1 millimetre. And it was one of the most frustrating things I did the other day when I sort of was trying to, I was creating this just to sort of work out exactly what I wanted to do. And the panels that I'm going to add on the side here, which are these 2 panels here, this is that lovely textured paper. I'm going to pop 2 panels on either side. Because I'd folded this in half, I'd lost a little bit of the depth. So these were 10 centimetres in length, but this was sort of like 9.9. Okay, so what I did this one here, I cut it 7.5 and I cut it by about, as I said, about 13. I folded it in half and then I've measured from there down my 10 centimetres just because, I mean, I'm probably being a little bit pedantic, but I really wanted these to be about the same width. That way I wanted them to all marry up. So it's sort of going to look like a continual piece across there. So that's just my little tip for today, is something like this where you sort of, it is something that is going to show up a little bit. Make sure that, you fold it and make sure that cut is going to be the last cut. Your paper trimmer will go through 2 layers quite easily. I just wouldn't put 3 layers through it. So what I've done, as I said, I've scored that at 10. And I've scored it also at 5. Okay, so we're going to fold this back on itself, and this is the second part of this is what's going to create our easel. Okay, so it's going to be our easel. Should have folded it that way. It really doesn't matter whether you fold it up or fold it down. So I could, you could use it and create your easel going down that way, but this one here, I'm going to create it going up. So it's going to attach into there. Now, as I said, I've got 2 panels left here, and these are about 3.5 centimetres wide by 10. Then I have another panel here, which is the same paper, and I've cut it the same size. So it is 7.5 by 10, and that's going to be part of our easel there. Okay, so let's start putting all this together. But what I want to do first is ink around the edges of these 3 here. So I'm going to ink around in my garden green, and I'm going to use Dauber. And I just want to give this a very light ink just around those edges, just to define those edges a little bit. So I'm not flicking it in too much. I'm really just going around these edges. So you've got 1, 2. Now, of course, these pieces here could also be a designer series paper if you want, or if you don't have this paper, you could use a embossing folder to add a bit of texture to these panels. There is quite a few different things that you could do, but I just thought, almost forgotten that I had purchased this. I think this is on the in the online exclusives, and I thought, no, I've got to use it. Just wondering if I got the right side or the wrong side there. I think I'm going to go this side here. Just a slightly nicer finish. Okay, and I think I might just do the inside of this one as well. Now I had another idea while I was eating my lunch, and I haven't cut that piece out yet. So what I might do is quickly find a scrap of that specialty paper, which I know I've got here, and I started to ink it earlier because I wanted to see what it was going to look like. And actually I'll need this piece, I think, which is going to be a 7.5. Yep. And let me grab my mini trimmer. I think I want to cut. So this is 7.5. So it's the same width as my panels here. But I think I want to cut this at around about, maybe about 4.5. And I'm going to ink around the edges of this one as well. Just going to have a quick look and make sure. I might need to cut that down a little bit. 4.5 might be a little bit too much. This is going to become part of, yeah, I think 3 is going to be better. Part of my little stand on the inside of my card to hold up my easel. Oops, put my finger right in it. Okay, so that's that part there. Just wanted a little bit more texture on this. So let's start putting this card together. So we've got our 2 outer panels, we've got our front panel, we've got our bottom panel, and we have got our letters. And I'm wondering if, while we've got the ink and everything here, let's just go around all these edges. Let's do a little bit more of this. Hello, Nicole. How are you? Let's just ink around all of these as well. We might as well do this. Just help define all these letters a little bit harder to go around in these curves, but I'm just going to gently do that there. And then our Y. That'll just blend the cardstock that we've put on the back of it in a little bit more as well. Sometimes some of these ideas grow as you think about it and work on them. You sort of have one thing on your mind of what you want to do, and then time you're finished, you've either got something completely different or something at least that looks probably a lot better. So there's our Y, and now we need to do our O as well. Just go around all those edges. And again in the middle. Just sort of running that around a little bit more rather than flicking it. Because that dauber just fits inside there. Okay. Have I done enough? No, I probably should do these as well. Okay, let's keep going. Don't need to do much on this, just a little bit. We just want to add a little bit of that green on there. These just need a tiny little bit because they're so little. This is going to form part of my stopper or stand. These are some of the die cuts. So what I've done is I've pulled out some of the little presents in there. One of the tags. And the last little present. This just defines the edges, but also gives a little bit of definition, shadowing. Makes things look not so much just cookie cutter cut. Okay, that's definitely it now. Or, sorry guys, one more. Jeez, keep forgetting. If we're going to do that, we might as well do the whole lot. Just do the edges on this, won't take long. Will look so much better. Now, double check everything's been done, because that's all the elements we're putting on this card. Okay, so here are all our bits and pieces. I'm going to pop this panel on here. I'm going to start from this side and work my way across, but I'm just going to double check and make sure that I've got it all spaced out nicely. You want to try to get your spaces even all the way around. And then this panel here, which is our one that's going to form our writing area plus our easel part of our card, that's going to fit in the middle. Okay, so let's start with this one. Use my multi-purpose glue because it does give me that little bit of slip. I want to try to space this out so then it's even all the way around. Next panel is going to be this one here in the middle. You can always trim the end down if we've got a little bit too long. And I'm going to butt that one, whoops, want that out of the road. We're going to butt that one up to next to that one. Okay, and then this one here should get butted up next to there. And are we all nice and even around? Probably could have gone over a little bit. So what I might do is just trim the edge down on this one. It's only by here, but it just means I'll need to put a little bit of so I'm just going to put a bit more ink down this side because we've just managed to cut that off. And that's just going to make sure that we've got this, that's looking better. So it's going to make sure that we've got a nice even space all the way around. And we're going to butt this one up to there, just like that. Okay, I think that's all quite evenly spaced around there. So this is going to form our easel part there and fold up. And we've got a little area here to write. So if you're someone who doesn't like writing, then you've got the area to write, but not a huge amount. Now, this one here, we're going to glue onto the front here. And I'm going to line up the bottoms here. So all I want to do is put glue on this bottom section here. And then I'm going to take this piece and line it up with that edge. And just bring that back down, making sure that everything is squared up in there while that glue is still wet. And that is going to fold like that. So that's what's going to give us our easel piece there. So let's start looking at how we're going to pop these letters on. Now you are going to need dimensionals for this, as well as your glue, because I am going to lift these up on dimensionals. So we're going to start with our joy, and we're going to pop these across. Now these are going to be spaced like that and just slightly overlapping each other. Okay, so that's going to sit just like that. So I'm going to pop the dimensionals on the straight part of the back of our Y, and probably one at the bottom on that curve. So I'm just going to pop a few along here. And then the third one, I'm going to pop it just on that curve. So I'm going to pop this one on first. Going to line these up pretty much by eye, but what I might do is fold this down this way, line it up with my grid on my mat here. Oops, and I want it hanging probably about there. So it's going to hang off a little bit on the side. Now with our O, it's going to sit on top of there, but we're going to need to add dimensionals on this half of our O, and we're just going to pop a little bit of liquid glue on this one over here. So I'm going to grab a couple of more dimensionals, and they're going to go along here. Now I'm just going to make sure that I've got, because this O is actually slightly wider at the bottom and narrower at the top, so I want the top to be going there. So I've got my dimensionals on the right side. I'm going to pop one up there and one down here, and then a little bit of glue just on this far edge over here. I don't want to go too far in. I'm just going to run it around that edge there. And this is why I backed my letters, because I just wanted this to have a bit of strength in it. Again, just sort of lining that up. I'm just going to do this by eye. I want that to overlap that one a little bit. And then we're going to do the same with our Y. So my Y is going to sit around about there. This part of my Y is going to have a bit of liquid glue on it. This part here is going to have my dimensionals, and this is going to be hanging off freely. So I only really need to put dimensionals in this bottom section. So I'm going to pop one there, one a bit higher up, because that's going to go there. And I just want to put a little bit of glue, not much, just a little bit on that edge there. Again, just lining this up Sorry if my head is in the road. We're going to pop that right. Whoops, I should take the backs off those dimensionals first, shouldn't I? See if I can line that up again. Okay, so that should all support each other quite nicely, just like that. So there's our word joy going across there. Now, the sentiment from your house to mine, I'm going to use this, and I'm just going to take the backing off this, because remember these are adhesive backed. And I'm going to add that just across those like that. Okay, so that's just going to give you us, whoops, let me see if I can get that in the light right for you, just like that. Now we need to create the stand. So this is where this little piece here is going to come in handy. We're going to take this piece, we've got all our little bits and pieces here, and I'm going to add my tag on here. Now I don't really want to go past this area here, but I don't want that tag sitting, I want it going sort of to the edge there. So I'm going to be using this just, again, the textured piece underneath is just to give a bit of stability, because it's going to hold all these little pieces on top, as well as giving a little bit of a textured background along the bottom. So then we're going to take our Christmas present, pop a bit of glue on there. I'm going to take that down and across a little bit, not quite to the end. This one here, I'm going to come back up, pop him probably around about, maybe even just down a little bit. Just putting a little bit of glue there in that middle. Doesn't matter if it hangs over that edge. Now, do we need this little present on there? I think I might just pop him on there. And it's just going to sit. Just going to hold that down for a little bit, just to let that, make sure that all dries together, but just giving a little bit of weight on the back of that. Now I'm just going to add some dimensionals on the back of this piece. It's going to give us the height for it. Could also use the adhesive foam piece for this, because I could have cut just a nice long strip rather than using all those dimensionals, which would have worked probably even better. And then this piece here is going to go on the inside of our card, and we're going to go just up a little bit, because we do have those Christmas presents there, and we're just going to use that as a bit of a border there. So I mean, I probably could have used that whole 4 centimeters or 4.5. But anyway, I think, and that's going to hold that up like that. So there you go. It's not a hard card to make, but I think quite nice. So it's just got a little bit of decoration. If you wanted to, you could decorate the sides here. As I said, if you didn't want to use the textured paper, you could use a piece of designer series paper going through there. It's really up to you, but I really love how that word joy pops on that white, and how it fills up that whole not the whole width going right edge to edge, but we're going a little bit further than that panel there. So anyway, that's my fun card there, my fun easel card. And as I said, I will put the instructions and everything onto my blog over the weekend. It should be there ready for you to print off if you wish to by Monday. So thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed this card. Hope you can enjoy me next week as we're going to create another card. I haven't decided yet whether I'm going to do it again with these papers. That's 3 cards I've made with these papers so far. I will see what I come up with, but I have got an idea in mind. So I hope you have a lovely weekend, and I will see you next Friday at 1 o'clock. As I said before, all these products you'll find on my online store. If you just head over to head over to michellejutrisa.stampingup.net, or head over to Butterflies and Bows, and you'll find a link there on the menu bar above for my online store. So take care. Have a lovely, lovely weekend. Thank you very much for joining me. I really do appreciate everyone who does jump on. So have a lovely weekend again, and I'll see you the next week. Bye for now.